Okay, so we're going to get started with step 10 of our Inside Out project. Step 10 is WordPress, and what we're going to do, first of all, what we did do, we covered our people, and we put them in by using posts and then calling those posts to our pages. And this one is actually going to be a lot easier because we're not necessarily going to have to create our videos. And what we're going to do is we're going to start working on things. And the things we're going to start working on is music and movies. We're going to use a plugin. This is going to be a pretty quick lesson, pretty easy lesson, because the way that we're going to do it is we're going to go out to YouTube and we're going to create playlists, and through a plugin we're going to pull our videos into our WordPress pages. And this is going to allow us to do exactly what we did in the HTML version of Inside Out in step 11, and but much more simple because of the fact that we're leveraging plugins and we are able to create the lists directly in YouTube. The hardest part of this lesson will actually be setting up your developer key to pull the information into WordPress, and we'll cover that as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to get started. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is go ahead and log into our WordPress admin panel. And as always, before we do anything else, the first thing that we want to do is go to our settings, our Updraft Plus backups, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to back it up now. Kicks in, we'll watch it do the backup real quick. And great, so now we're backed up. We have our backup. Today's November 1st. It's backing up, it's in there, excellent. So now we want to go and install our plugin. The plugin that we're going to use is called YouTube Free, and it's a pretty extensive plugin, very cool plugin, and the paid version of it does some really amazing things, but the free version does a really good job. I wanted to touch on right now, because we did do a backup, we could go ahead and do our upgrades, but we're going to wait and we're going to do our upgrades in a little bit. We're going to install our plugin first, and we'll go ahead and do backup upgrades in the next lesson. We'll discuss it in full. For now, we just want to go ahead and click on Add New Plugin. And up in our search, we're going to type YouTube. And the one that we want is this YouTube Embed WordPress plugin. Looks like this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to install it. Updated 2 weeks ago. Compatible with our version. 352 reviews at 4.5. That's pretty good. And 200,000 active installs. That's a pretty good indicator that it's a decent plugin. So we're going to go ahead and activate it. And now that we have it activated, you can see it's telling us that there's a new version for the Pro, and we'll just go ahead and ignore that. We'll just click on the plugin itself, and we'll go out to it, and let's dismiss that message so that we don't have to keep looking at it. The first thing that we need to do to make this plugin work, it has all kinds of options and things that we can do. And the first thing that we want to do is, in order to pull videos from YouTube, you have to have what's called a developer's key. And actually, what we would call it is the YouTube API key. And in this plugin, they provide us with a video that we can use on how to create your YouTube developer's key. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this video. It's a silent video that shows you And the reason that we're going to use the video is if we look at my dashboard, it is a complete mess. I have hundreds of keys, well, not hundreds, but it looks like hundreds of keys, and it looks very confusing. So as we're looking at this video, we're going to go ahead and I'll talk along with it, and hopefully we'll be able to get you aligned to your YouTube API key so you can complete this. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. And remember, this video is available right in the plugin by clicking on the link on how to get a YouTube API key. And what we're going to do is get the API key and then enter it into our galleries. So the way that we go about this is we'll go out to Google and we'll enter in YouTube API key, and we'll go to the YouTube Data API Overview. We can see that you need a Google account. If you don't have one, you need to create one and then come back and do this. And then we're going to go to the Google Developers Console. In the console, we can create a project, and in this project, the project name that I would use, that you should use, is Inside Out API key. They're using for YouTube API key. It really doesn't matter, just as long as you know what you named it. And you'll see then once you hit create, it could take a minute or two. It could take a couple seconds for it to create the project, and you can watch and see the progress. You'll know that it's still doing something, because what it's doing is it's talking to a couple servers, and it's building this key for you to use. Essentially, it's a code. And then we're going to go over to YouTube Data API, as you saw, version 3, and we're going to enable it. If you have to, you slow down the video, stop the video, and come back and look at things. Now that we have it enabled, the API, it'll show that it's enabled, and we have to go to create credentials. The way that we create our credentials is we go down below and we say that it's for a web server. The reason we're using a web server is because it's actually our web server that's going to call YouTube and have the conversation with it. And we create the credential. At that point, you're given your API key. So you can grab your API key, copy it, and bring it on over to your plugin. Well, click done, and your API key is always there and available. And at this point, we can bring our API key over to our plugin and paste it in there, and then click Save Changes. Once you click Save Changes, you're now able to access your YouTube API. So now that we have our API key in and saved, we'll just take a quick look, and you can see there's all kinds of different parameters and configurations that you can set up. And if you go pro, it gets even crazier, the things that you can do with this plugin. At the moment, all we're really caring about is that we got our key in, and we're not going to do anything here under the YouTube settings anymore. We're actually going to go out to our pages, and we're going to go and we're going to look at our let's start with our music page. And so we're going to click into our music page so we can edit it. And you'll see we now have this new button above our editor. And what that button is that's part of that plugin that we installed. And it gives us different options, different things that we can do. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and embed a playlist. And we can see here that all we need is the playlist link. And the way that we get the playlist link is we have to now go out to our YouTube account. And we'll go under playlists. And I've created a playlist called My Favorite Songs, and also one called My Favorite Music. My favorite movies. The way that we create a playlist, by the way, is when you find a video or something like that that you would like to use, you just come down here, click on the plus, we call that a hamburger icon with the plus in it, and you just click Create Playlist. Once you have the playlist created, you can check off for videos to be in different playlists. It's a really cool feature, and I'm sure that pretty much most of all of you are familiar with it. So let's go ahead. We're going to go back and we're going to grab that playlist link. And I believe that this is the link that we want. We actually went to our playlist. The way that we got there is we were out here looking, and we just click on our playlist title and we grab our link. At this point, we should be able to go back in here to our edit page and paste that link in. And so you see it's https youtube.com playlist question mark. Now we're getting into those parameters, and the parameters are list equals. And let's see if that does it for us. There we go. So I went ahead, it grabbed the playlist for us. You can't be impatient like I was there. We could do it in Pro, but we don't want to. We don't want to pay, so we're not going to do that. And we have the option of putting it in as a playlist or as a gallery. And what we want to do is insert as a gallery. I would encourage you to go ahead and play with this at a later point and see what you can do, see what different things are, and then update your page once you have that in there. Once it shows you that your page is updated, there we go. Let's go out and view the page. And at this point, it's pulling our playlist in. As we add and take away, these will be updated, the available videos, and we can click on it and it will start playing right there in our page, just like our HTML version will as well. So with that, let's go ahead and, like I told you, this was going to be a short one. Let's go to Movies. Let's edit that page. Click on our YouTube button. Embed playlist. So now I'm going to go out and I'm going to find my playlist. I'm going to go to Home. And just to help people, it gets a little confusing at times on YouTube for some reason, trying to find things. You can look under your subscriptions and things like that, but where you find your playlist is tucked away under the library, and you have to expand it like I just did. And so now we're going after favorite movies. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and here we have a couple movies in there, and I'm going to copy that URL again, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to say Get Playlist. You can see our playlist is showing up, and we're going to insert it as a gallery again. We're going to update, and then we're going to go check it out. And there we go. Way, way more simple than actually writing the HTML, doing the HTML page to do this. So with that said, that wraps up this portion of the lesson, step 10. And now we know how to put YouTube playlists, galleries into our pages. You are welcome to go and play with the other options and things like that. I would ask that you do it on a separate site, on a separate, so that we're not interfering with the progress that we're making with our Inside Out project.